Solving Equations, Part 6. In today's lesson, students will solve two-step equations with integers. Two-step equations with what? Very good. Perhaps the most confusing thing about integers is knowing the rules of adding integers, subtracting integers, and multiplying and dividing integers. Okay? So today we're just going to focus on adding integers. So when you add integers, what do you have to remember? What do you have to remember? There's two things, right? You're either going to remember the integer song or you're going to remember Bob. So which one is it? It is the integer song, okay? So remember that when you add integers, you have to remember the song, okay? And what is the integer song? It is same signs, add and keep. Okay? So when you have the same signs, you add and keep. Like a -2 plus -3 equals -5. Okay? But when you have different signs, you what? Different signs, subtract. Okay? Then you're going to keep the sign of the higher number or the bigger number. Okay? Then you'll be exact. So make sure that you know the integer song and you use it for addition. So when you're solving a two-step equation, okay, and you're doing the operation on the right side, you're going to be adding integers, okay? So today we're going to be just focusing on solving the equation. We're going to skip the check part. I'm sure you're very happy about that. Okay, so let's read this one. You had one like this on your homework yesterday. It says, read it with me. It says -10 plus 4x equals 6. Okay, so remember to solve any equation. First, you're going to make a t. Okay. Very important. I want you to circle the term with the coefficient. What do I mean by that? What do I want you to circle? Do I want you to circle -10? No. I want you to circle 4x, the coefficient with the variable. We call this a term. This is what you're trying to get by itself, okay? Trying to get what is x, right? But there is a 4 coefficient attached to it. Okay, so then we look at the number that is next to 4x. What number is this? This is a -10. So we have to do the opposite of -10, which is +10. Make sure you line up the 10 underneath the 10. Okay, so a -10 and a +10 make 0. You're going to bring down 4x. 4x will equal 10 plus 6 more, which is 16. Okay, 6 plus 0 is 6, and bring down the 1. Okay, so remember now that the coefficient is what? What's the coefficient? It is the number that is touching x. It is what? It's 4, right? Okay, so you want to, this is Mr. 4 and Miss X. They're married, right? That means they're being multiplied. It's asking what number times 4 gives you 16. What number times 4 gives you 16? It's 4, right? How do you figure out that it's 4? Well, you want to get a divorce or divide both sides by 4. All right. 4 divided by 4, any number divided by itself is 1. Repeat after me. Say, any number divided by itself is 1. Okay? So we call this canceling out, right? When you have the same number at the top and the bottom, it goes away because it's 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So now x will equal 16 divided by 4. 16 divided by 4. Okay, so we're going to skip count by 4 to get to 16. 4, 8, 12, 16. So what is x? X is 4 Very good. Go ahead and get that down. So let's take a look at number 2. Read it with me. It says 3x plus 5 equals a negative 10. Okay, so now the negative is on the other side of the equation, right? This is called an integer because it is negative. Okay, so we're still going to try and solve the equation by first making a t and circle the term that has x with it, the coefficient in x, which is called 3x. Okay, look at the number next to 3x. It's 5, right? What's the opposite of positive 5? Negative 5. So you're going to subtract 5 from both sides, all right? So now we'll do the operations. Positive 5 and a negative 5 make 0. The reason why is because they have different signs. So you subtract 5, take away 5. Any number minus itself is 0. Okay, then you're going to go ahead and bring down the 3x for me, okay? Bring down 3 and x. They're touching. They're married. Now it equals, aha, you see? Now you look at the right side of the equation, okay? You have a negative 10 and a negative 5. Whether or not you realize it, this is addition, isn't it? Because I'll ask you, do these numbers have the same sign? Are they both negative? Yes. So same signs, add them, and keep the negative. Yeah? So you're adding negatives. You have a negative 10 and a negative 15. You just do 10 plus 5, which is 15. Aha. Okay, so now you have that 3x equals negative 15. It's asking what number times 3 is a negative 15. Okay, so in order to figure that out, you have to divide or divorce by Mr. 3. You divide both sides by the coefficient. The coefficient, or the number that's touching x, is 3. Now you have to realize that when you're at this point, guess who is going to come and help you save the day? Who is this? This is Bob. Remember, you use Bob for multiplication or for division. This is division, right? So let's say this is the division sign in the middle. I am telling you that a negative divided by a positive number is, what's missing there? What does I look like? It's a negative, right? Okay, so whenever you have basically one negative, your answer is negative. So let's go ahead and say that 3 divided by 3, any number divided by itself is 1. Then you're left with x equals, you have a negative 15 divided by 3. Let's see, a negative divided by a positive is negative. So that's the first thing you need to know, that the answer will be negative, okay? And 15 divided by 3, okay, let's take a look at that. 15 divided by 3, let's skip count by 3. Say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, okay? So what number is this? How many tallies? It is 5, negative 5. So in this equation, x equals negative 5, because 3 times negative 5 will give you negative 15. Read the last example with me. It says 2x minus 6 equals a negative 24. Okay, so we do have an integer, right? We have a negative 24 on the right side of the equation. Let's separate both sides of the equation by drawing a, what is this? You're drawing a t. Okay. Circle the term with the coefficient and the variable. That is 2x. Why do we circle 2x? Why do we do that? Anybody know why we do that? Anybody? Okay, the reason why we do that is because this tells us that we need to look at the number that is next to this, whatever is being circled, right? We're trying to do the opposite of this one, which is negative 6. What's the opposite of negative 6? The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. That's right, so we're going to add 6 to both sides. Okay, now we're going to do the operations. A negative 6 and a positive 6 makes 0. It goes away. We're going to bring down 2x. 2 is the coefficient. X is the variable. They're being multiplied because they're married. Okay, tricky part over here. You have a negative 24 and a positive 6. Okay. Do they have the same signs or different signs? What do they have? Different signs, right? So you say different signs, subtract. So what you're doing here is you're now going to say this is subtraction. You're really subtracting, okay? 24 take away 6. So we're going to have to regroup because can you take 6 from 4? Can you take 6 away from 4? No. So we're going to go next door. We're going to borrow 1, and then this makes it 14. Okay. 14, take away 6. Let's count backwards. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And then you'll bring down the 1. Now keep the sign of the higher number. What's bigger, 24 or 6? 24, right? And 24 is negative. So I'll go ahead and make this red so you know that I'm really talking about negative 18 here. Okay? All right. So now it's asking what number times 2 gives you a negative 18. So now we're multiplying integers. If you're multiplying integers, you have to remember who is this? This is Bob. And remember that a negative divided by a positive is, what's this I? It's negative. So you can go ahead and circle this I because it means the answer will be negative. Okay? So 2x equals negative 18. We're going to divide both sides by what? We're going to divide both sides by a positive 2. 2 divided by 2, any number divided by itself is 1. So put a 1 through that. Now x is a single lady. She's very happy about that. You have a negative 18 divided by a positive 2. What's the answer going to be? What's the answer going to be? It's going to be negative, right? Okay, negative what? We have 18 divided by 2. Skip count with me. Say, skip count by 2. Ready, go. Say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So how many tallies do I have? I have 5 plus 4, which is 9. So we're really saying that x equals negative 9 because 2 times negative 9 would give you a negative 18. Okay, go ahead and get that down.